This is Garum, and of course I am ignoring reality. Welcome to Game News Bites. Only good information, all duds removed. Xcom 2 Resurrection Story Summation Part 27. The final part. Alright guys, where did we leave off? Well, Lena and Amar are trying to save the Avenger, and she just shot him in the gut. Alright, here we go. Amar's legs immediately felt like rubber, but oddly, there was no sense of pain, just the impact. Behind her, he saw a small shadow hiding behind a corner. Looking at Lena, he could see how hard she was fighting it. Her hands were trembling and a tear rolled down her face, yet she looked completely without emotion. Amar pushed her out of the way and dove forward, taking aim and shot. He blew its head into fragments and he heard Lena fall to the ground behind him. I shot you. I couldn't, she sputtered. Lena, stop. I'm fine. We need to get to those switches. Focus. I'll watch the stairwell. You go get 'em. Of course, he did not feel fine. His gut was burning and his body felt strange. He was on the verge of blacking out. Okay, she said and started down the corridor. She only made a few meters before stopping. Oh no, I found Sam. He didn't make it, she said in almost a whisper. Trying not to think about that, he heard something moving just down the stairs. He raised his weapon and waited. Amar, we have a problem, Lena said. The kill switches, they've been disabled. The movement he heard quickly turned into a scramble as a chrysalid flew up the stairs at him. It nearly made it all the way to him before going limp and collapsing. Alright, Lena, what are our options then? What do we do? Well, re-enabling them's out of the question, but there is another option if you have a grenade. We can just blow it? He asked just before firing at the next monster to charge him. Sure. This is where the AI is getting its power. The switches were designed to disable everything without, destroying it all. But I don't think we really have the luxury of being neat right now, she said. Okay, I can set it for a 20-second delay. That is the absolute max. What happens once it detonates? Amar asked. We don't want to be anywhere near here when that power conduit ruptures. That's going to put us running straight into the aliens, Amar said, taking another shot. Yep, so get up and give me your pistol, she replied. He pressed hard against the wall and eased himself back to a standing position. She moved over to him and unbuckled a grenade from his belt. She relieved him of his pistol as well, then moved back down the corridor. The chrysalid that lay at his feet sprang back up and came hard at him. He tried to focus on the pain to somehow find the strength, but it wasn't enough. He tumbled down the stairs with it. He hit the landing hard, his vision blurred. The creature scurried off of him and moved about in the shadows. He fired blindly. He could feel it waiting for him, lingering. Lena appeared by him. She fired into the darkness, and he heard a glimmer of pain. She grabbed him by the arm and said, Get up, I figure we got about 6 more seconds. He started to rise up when 3 plasma bursts ripped through her unarmored body. She fell back into him, hard. Amar fired ahead, but everything was blurry now. Another blast came from the darkness and struck her again, center mass. He could see that she was trying to say something, but the ringing in his ears was so loud he couldn't make it out. Spinning his head around, he could not find the target. Finally, everything faded into darkness. Amar awoke on his back, staring at the ceiling. He turned his head around, and he could see that he was in the infirmary of the Avenger. Lily Shin was there shortly after he woke up. He knew he didn't have to ask. That there was really no point in it, but he couldn't stop himself. Lily told him that they had found him passed out on the ground, and Lena, she didn't make it. Amar, trying hard not to break into tears, decided to change the subject. Okay, alright, fine, what What happened? I mean, obviously we're still alive. Yeah, we thought there was only robots, but it turns out that they were just the distraction. There was a major force of aliens in cryosleep. They infiltrated the bridge and killed Sam and the medic, along with 2 others. My father was also there, but he survived. They interrogated him. Her voice dropped down. I think it was too much for him. I don't think he's gonna recover. Lily, I'm so sorry to hear that. He means a lot, not only to me, but to Xcom as a whole. It's alright, we've all lost loved ones in the war. There was a long silence between them, and finally Amar said, "So, I guess the grenade worked then." Yes, yes, the damage was pretty terrific, and it'll set us back quite a bit. And thanks to you and Lena, the mission and, well, several of us survived. Once the robots fell, thanks to the AI going offline, several squads grouped and cleared the remainder of the hostiles. The ship's ours again. Did Nishimura survive? Yeah, she's well. She's off on a recruiting mission right now. You've been out for a bit, nearly 2 weeks. I'll leave you to rest if you don't need anything else. No, thank you, Lily, I'm fine. She turned and left the room. Amar lay in the bed for another week before he could slowly, painfully move around. He had considered taking some time off, but he knew he would only think of Lena, so he decided to get back to work. Recruits were flowing in from everywhere, and in need of some training, assignments, and maybe a little bit of perspective. He even got to meet the new head of research, a man named Tegan. Apparently he used to work in the Advent Gene Therapy Clinic, but found religion and defected to us. Amar wondered what he could have said or did that convinced everyone else he was worth the security risk, which would be substantial. But he knew everyone was checked out really well. However, it is hard to remove that possibility from his mind, a traitor being on board. A few days later, Dr. Shin held a meeting with several people. "We've done good work here," Shin said. "I hope you all know that. I hope you take it to heart." Shin was shockingly thin and dissipated. Amar thought it looked like there wasn't much left of him anymore. He sat up in his bed, his arms shaking uncontrollably and his voice slightly slurred. He looked like he was about to topple over any minute. Lily on one side of him and a nurse on the other, ready to catch him if he did. "My daughter is more than fit to replace me in engineering, and we have a new head of research, so we don't really need to worry about that. But for Xcom to move forward, it needs structure, someone in charge. There is a possibility. As of yet, it's unconfirmed. But if it's true, I can die knowing that I left all of this in good hands. That the human race has a fighting chance." "What possibility?" Amar asked. "There's quite a bit you need to know, things I've kept to myself or only shared with Lily. But right now, time is critical and I can no longer be the sole repository of so much crucial information." It appeared that talking had worn him out substantially. He tried several times to speak, but could not seem to get any words out. Finally, the setback was unfortunate, and yes, I know the word is far too mild," he said, looking at Amar. "But we can go on. Promise me that we will. Not for me, but for the fallen. For those out there that need something to believe in, and everyone else that looks to Advent as a false savior. We can be the hope they need, that the world needs. It's time. It's time Xcom finished what it started 20 years ago. What I failed to do. Redeem us all. Promise me. Everyone was silent for a moment. Tears in more eyes than not. The old man's passion was not blunted by his years, his illness, or his injuries. He was an inspiration, and it was time for him to rest easy. Rest, knowing his work would continue. I promise, the group said. Amar said. Dr. Shin dies 3 days later, and they buried him in Cloud Forest, along with the rest of the Avengers dead. Lena and Sam, too. His grave was not marked, but its position was recorded down to the millimeter, because one day the whole world would know the names of those who paid for their freedom, and history will remember how and when humanity turned the corner and began to fight back, to retake their planet, their destiny. The end. Alright guys, that's it. If you want to hear the epilogue, go ahead and click right there and I'll take you to it. As always, thanks for watching.